Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your Planning Outlook video updated on Tuesday the 22nd of January. The continuing story is one of being cold. Things will vary slightly from day to day, but we're always pulling in chilly air masses generally from the northwest. Occasional westerly interludes just lift temperatures and freezing levels now and again. We're still waiting to try and find more of a northeast or even easterly pattern. It doesn't really look as though it's there just at the moment. But with low pressure nearby, we'll see frequent showers and at times some more persistent precipitation and giving substantial snow on many of the mountains. Those facing west and northwest for now, always seeing the lion's share of the snow. We'll start with a look at temperatures, and this is the 850 millibar level, as we often show you, and that's currently at around 4,500 feet, maybe as low as 4,000 feet, so between 1,200 1,400 metres thereabouts over these days ahead. Starting off with Wednesday, and at that level we're seeing temperatures forecast as around -6, -7, which corresponds pretty well to the current temperatures observed on Cairngorm Summit. Now those values will tend to lift a little bit as we go through the days ahead. This is through onwards into Thursday. We're just seeing less cold air shuffling in from the west. Freezing levels will rise slowly. Still a bit of a mess with terrain frozen, I suspect, from many lower slopes upwards. But as we go through into Friday, a more defined warm front pushes in, and temporarily you might find the 0 Celsius level goes practically up to the highest tops, if not rising a degree above freezing. But it's temporary because as we go through late Friday into Saturday, a cold front swings back down from the northwest, and temperatures are back down at that level below -5. And more or less as we go through the weekend beyond, that sort of value is what's likely to continue over a few days ahead. This is just running on into next week. You can see that the generally cold air is here to stay. A look at the forecast snow depth a week from today, and treated carefully of course, but it does just highlight that story of it being the west and northwestern mountains of Scotland particularly that will see the most in the way of snow. The northwest highlands then, areas in Lochaber and also the northern Cairngorms, if the wind flow at times turns more to the north. Likely to see accumulations elsewhere across the southern uplands, the lakes, North Wales, maybe just smaller amounts in more showery bands here. So let's step back more to the present time, and these are the charts then for these next few days ahead, starting off with Wednesday, and a brief ridge of higher pressure is nudging in, so fewer showers than what's been around on Tuesday, although around the western coast of Scotland, the northwest highlands, those coastal hills will still see some frequent snow and some hail showers. One or two bands as well could just move off the Irish Sea into North Wales. Otherwise it's a dry day for many with sunshine, and after a hard frost and temperatures -5 to -10 or even below in a few valleys and glens at dawn, it'll be a cold day, but a fine one then for many. Similar picture into Thursday, a bit more high cloud coming in from the west as a warm front edges in, and that might just get into western Scotland enough to give some snow, some sleet and eventually drizzly rain around coastal hills as slightly milder air moves in here. But away from that, apart from one or two snow flurries locally, it should be a dry day, not too much wind, again a hard frost in the morning, just a few patches of cloud or even some low-level freezing fog patches could be around in places. By Friday, more of a defined southwesterly flow moves in across Scotland, the risk of upland gales moving in here. Some uncertainty on the extent of the fronts eastwards, but it looks as though mild air, or milder air at least, moves in across many areas, so temperatures across the tops of England and Wales may well lift above freezing, and even briefly in Scotland up onto Munro level and above we might well lift to freezing or just above. But it's short-lived because once the cold front to the northwest comes down, temperatures and freezing levels will once again lower with some further accumulating snow on the mountains. By the time we get through into Saturday, that cold front looks as though it's across the south and east of England. Some uncertainty at this stage. 3 to 5 days ahead is still a difficult one for the forecast models just at the moment, but it seems as though we're back into a colder air mass with showers of snow and hail coming in on a cold westerly flow with the air mass originating off Greenland. So expect snow and hail and cloud bases varied, and much terrain likely to be frozen away from the coasts. By Sunday, most indications favour a cold northwesterly, so back to square one really where we are at the moment, with showers focused on the north and west of the Highlands, a few bands off the Irish Sea into Snowdonia, one or two showers or flurries of snow or hail elsewhere, but down the spine of the country from the south eastern Highlands down the Pennines, probably few showers with better amounts of sunshine. The wind strength somewhat uncertain, the risk of being gale force in places, so severe wind chill if exposed. So trying to pick things out further ahead, and if you're watching the previous video from Friday, you'll know we were looking to try and find whether easterly weather patterns would get in, and at that stage many of the models were going for that. And the difficulty we've had in recent times is that many computer models at sort of 7 to 10 days down the line have kept finding an easterly, and we're never quite getting there. The story is being knocked on every time the models run. For now then, the early days of next week we're still in something of a west by northwesterly, still a generally cold air mass. There may be a temporary lift of freezing level again at some point, mainly in England and Wales early in the week. Low pressure stays somewhere toward the north, and indications as we go through the week towards the 1st of February just pull that low a bit further southwards, and it tries then to open up more of a north by northeasterly pattern. With low pressure in charge, there'll always be areas of showers, there'll be some snow, there'll be some hail. If they become organised into bands, then some places have that chance for some more organised falls. Again, I think initially it's north and west facing mountains, with maybe increasing scope to put more snow onto northeastern facing regions if that wind flow does just switch as the week goes on. Generally then it's cold, much terrain is frozen, the mountains generally snow covered with very little in the way of thawing. And very briefly and very carefully, there's an indication just into the first 10 days of February. That's the 7-day pressure anomalies at middle layers in the atmosphere as forecast by this one model, treated cautiously, but it shows low pressure still somewhere towards the south of Britain, higher pressure indicated as being toward the north, focused say over northern Scandinavia. It maintains that theme then of being under a generally cool or cold regime, trying to go east by northeasterly at some point, maybe at times back west or northwesterly, so fairly variable, but either way we just seem to maintain a cold pattern, colder than what we'd seen in the first half of the winter at the very least. So keep a close eye on your local forecasts for the next 3 days. We update those every single day on the Mountain Weather website. There may be local variations in the days ahead just to be aware of. We'll update this longer range planning outlook on Friday for you. It looks as though the general trends are staying on a wintry flavour for a good while ahead. So enjoy your time on the mountains, stay safe. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.